my goodness! Holy sh!
Hey folks, what's up today? Let's talk about it. Total waste of time here, but I'm just curious. This is a, I don't know, 2000-ish, 99, I don't know, Lincoln Town car. Picked this up this past spring. It's pretty solid underneath, pretty well rust free. I picked it up because I might use the chassis underneath an old 70 or 71 Torino. Don't know if I'll use the chassis, the floor pan, the entire drivetrain, I don't know, but it's got the right wheelbase. But sorry for the voiceover, folks, but as I was reviewing the video I originally took, it occurred to me that I wasn't doing a very good job of describing what I was trying to accomplish. This is not a propane conversion in the conventional sense. What I'm doing is disabling the gasoline part of the electronic fuel injection, but I'm still keeping the electronic ignition control that the computer will do, and seeing if it will play nice with the old school propane setup. Just take the air elbow off and put a IMCO 425 on there. Initially, yeah, I'll put a vaporizer on it because you'll have to, and I won't run any coolant through the vaporizer, which you have to do, otherwise it'll freeze up. But yeah, initially I'll just put on the mixer and the vaporizer and see if it'll run. If it seems to run pretty good, then I'll hook some coolant lines up to it and try to take it for a drive. Okay, here's the basic setup. For those of you that don't know propane, well anyway, you can go ahead and shut the video off and do your best Hank Hill impression and then come back. Anyway, this here is called a mixer. It's basically the equivalent of a carburetor, but for propane. It pulls in oxygen here. So that way whoop, there, and mixes the oxygen with the propane. This is called a vaporizer or a converter. What this does is it takes the liquid propane coming out of this forklift tank. This forklift tank just came out of my snowplow Bronco. Feels like it's almost empty, but we'll give it a try anyway. The Bronco was just running. I ran it just to run the liquid online. But anyway, the propane in here comes out as a liquid and under high pressure, all the way right up to here. And why this is called a converter or a vaporizer is it takes the liquid in this end and it converts it into a vapor that comes out of this hose and goes to the mixer. And it also drops the pressure too. That vapor is basically, I don't think it's even under any pressure. It's just a supply on demand, you know, depending on how much that needs. Now normally you would run, before it comes into the vaporizer, you would run some sort of a filter and a lock-off valve, whether it be vacuum activated or electrical, but this is just an experiment, so I don't care. And also these two nipples here, on these you would run your coolant or some other fluid through them. I tried doing transmission fluid once on a rig and it worked, but boy, it was a challenge getting it warmed up. Once transmission fluid was warmed up, it was okay, but the reason you have to run something through this is as the propane is converted from a liquid to a vapor, it puts out cold and it'll freeze this thing up. So that's why you got to have something in there to carry the cold away. But just for this, just to see if it'll run, yeah, I won't worry about that. I don't know if you can read it, but it says leaked on it. I loaned out a bunch of propane stuff to a friend. He was wanting to get propane set up on his truck that he wheels, and he told me that this one leaked coolant. So, but yeah, for right now this won't matter. If it actually runs pretty good, then I'll worry about maybe trying one of my other, I've got a bunch of propane stuff. Anytime I run across stuff at a swap meet, I buy it if it's cheap. So yeah, that's that one there. He said leaked propane. This one here he never tried. So yeah, if this actually runs and runs pretty good just sitting here, then yeah, I might try sticking that one on. And then unfortunately the coolant lines, they're buried back there underneath the firewall, so they'll be kind of hard to get. So I'll run out of time today because I want to let the engine cool off before I tackle that. But by taking the intake tract off, there is no signal coming to the computer from the mass airflow intake, and I forget what this one was. Air temperature charge? I forget. I'm sure somebody out there knows. I should know it. And if you've noticed, I've unplugged every one of the injectors. Can't see the other two down in there. Got all four unplugged on this side. Yeah, I think I'll open up the tank and see what happens. You hear the propane flowing. Like I said, this tank felt like it was really empty. If we don't get any results, I'll go get a fresh tank, try it again. It's pressurized, ready to go. All I gotta do is turn the key, see what happens. See if I can get in under the... Get in here and push the pedal a little bit. Nope, it is not liking it. Ain't gonna happen. I knew this was gonna be a waste of time, but I figured it'd at least cough and chug and sputter, and I think just for the sake of an experiment, I'll go ahead and try a fresh tank before I pull the plug on this. I had this piece already made. On this is a IMCO 425. I had this piece already made because I tried this a few years back on a 97 Cougar, but I know this engine runs pretty decent. On that Cougar, it was just a car I bought for parts, and the engine in it was suspect to begin with. So yeah, I'll stick another tank on, fresh tank, and we'll give it another shot. Okay, fresh tank. When I unhooked the other one, because I wasn't able to get anything out of the line by running the engine to empty the line, typically you unhook a tank here, and if there's liquid in it and pressure still in the line, you'll get actual liquid propane shoot out of there or drip out. But I got nothing but a little fart of vapor. So yeah, maybe that's the problem. Maybe the tank was just empty. Oh yeah, you heard the liquid flow that time instead of just a hiss. Boy, it seems like that valve should open more than that. Yeah. Let's try it again. Ding, 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 ding. Oh! What was that? Come on. You gotta give me more than that. That was just a tease. Giving her full throttle seemed to help. I'm holding the throttle partway open at the moment. I know these Ford computers have a limp mode in them where if something goes wrong, they'll give it 10 degrees of advance and that's it. Maybe I'm in limp mode right now. I get the feeling if I let off the pedal it's going to die. I don't know. The engine's warm already, so let's find out. Yep. Yeah, it's running, but it's pretty weak. Not very responsive at all. Let's see what happens if I put it in gear. Line on that hose. It takes quite a bit of throttle to keep this thing running. It actually despite having to keep my foot on the gas to keep it running, when I put it in gear, it actually seems like it's got some pep. But boy, it just does not want to idle. You got to keep the RPMs up a little bit. tire smoke. She'll do a burnout at least. Oh, it shifted in a second. That was it. Good smoke. I read the tire. Ah, keep going. All right. It's hissing under here. Yeah, see there? She's starting to ice up. Oh, the tire didn't blow, it just... I don't know what that gunk is. Pieces of tread. Still some haze. Oh, that was fun. Yeah. Tire goop all over the door. Well, it does work to some degree. I'll think about this, maybe think with it some more tomorrow. It's been a couple weeks now since I messed around with the propane. Seeing if, the propane will run on a fuel-injected engine. It did, as you know, because you watched it so far. Like I said, it's been a couple weeks. Got a nice day here. It's supposed to get colder tomorrow. While freezing isn't imminent, this car does have water in the cooling system. So I just need to pull it up to the shop. Figure while I'm draining it out, putting antifreeze in it, I'll get that converter hooked up, and hopefully that'll make it run long enough we can take it for a test drive, see how it does on the propane. Okay, so as you're aware, last time the engine was fully warmed up before I hooked up the propane. Obviously, like I said, it's been sitting a couple weeks. The engine's cold, plus I robbed the battery out for something else, so the computer has reset itself as well. So it should be interesting to see how well it starts, if it even does. As you can see, the converter's already frosting up just from that little bit of running of getting it up to the shop. Just like last time. There it goes. Rusty. So I was in the process of getting these heater hoses unhooked, which are kind of buried back here. And I thought, well, seeing how I'm going to be trying this new converter, well, it ain't new, but it's a swap meet converter of unknown quality. Figure I better hook that up and put some propane pressure to it first. It might be a total bust, so I don't have any more of those. None that are known good ones anyway. That's turning on the tank now. Huh. Didn't even hear it hiss. Well, I hear something leaking. Yeah. Yeah, this is a... I'll go dig around the shed, see if I got another one. See, the only other one I've got is this. It's a complete setup, matched set off of I don't know what. It's a 425 mixer and IMCO converter. And it's gonna take a little work to get it all unhooked. I think probably what I'll do first, just unhook it here and then hook the pressure line to it from the propane tank just to see if it leaks too, before I waste all my time getting the whole thing disconnected. Good news, everyone! This one didn't leak, so I got it all unhooked from the other setup. It's pretty much set up just like the other one. I'm just kind of curious to see if the car runs any better, seeing as how it doesn't have any internal leakage going on. So let's try that, shall we? It actually does run better. Doesn't take nearly as much throttle to keep it running, but it's not going to idle on its own when I let off the pedal. Yeah. Let's get back to hooking up some coolant lines then. Okay folks, it's all hooked up. As you can see, I have a perfectly good mess of cobbled up coolant lines running to the vaporizer. I have had it running, I've moved it around, but I'm currently fighting I believe is air in the cooling system. I'm gonna leave it alone for today, let it cool off, maybe top it off tomorrow, and then we'll go for a test drive. From what little I moved it around here, it seems to drive pretty good, and while it won't quite idle, it does run a lot smoother than before. And in order to get it to idle, I put a little valve stem cap over the adjuster there. It idles a little high, but I'll fire it up just to show you. Hey, that was fun. That happened before. And now the hose is gone. What happened there is this hose that runs from the valve cover right here over to that throttle body, it blew that off. It's the second time that's happened. I'm wondering if I'm getting a little propane vapor getting into the crankcase and igniting somehow. There, that's more like it. And if I take the cap off, it dies. Okay, finally got it all the air bled out of the cooling system, I believe. Still got the valve stem cap on there. Stop. Other than that exhaust leak, it sounds pretty good. Let's see if I can figure out a way to get this hood latched. I can't latch it completely because all the propane components are up here too high. So long as I can get the hood down a little bit, get a latch where it won't fly up. Cooling fan working? Yep, electric fan's going. Temperature gauge is reading about in the middle. All right, let's do this. Got my passenger here, Mr. Propane Tank. Woohoo! This thing was squirrely before. Something wrong with the front end. Although it's not eating tires. I don't know if the phone's picking it up. I can hear I couldn't find anything loose like a wheel bearing. I don't know what's going on. Well, you get this thing up about 40 and it is a handful. Let's see. Temperature still good. Yeah, she seems pretty peppy. I'm really surprised it's running this well. I can't really, like I said, because of the squirreliness, I can't really going too fast, but it seems. Let's see here, the traction control is on. I can get that turned off. It's right down there in the glove box. There. Traction control off. Now let's pay attention to the road. Hey, there's a tire there on the shoulder. Oopsie. Didn't even feel it really. It would be kind of interesting just to take this out for an afternoon and drive it around and see how long a propane tank lasts. That might give me an idea how truly well it's running, depending on the mileage. Doing 45, gonna get to the magic squirrely moment. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I don't know, maybe there's something wrong in the rear somewhere. Seems like that's where things start getting squirrely. Maybe the track bar's messed up, broke or bent, or I just felt like the ass end started wanting to go to the left there. Why were they practically driving in the ditch? Did I look that terrifying coming at them? Okay, it'll do a burnout. Not a terribly impressive one, but it'll do it. With the propane. Everybody, together, do your best Hank Hill impression. Propane and propane accessories. Transmission shifting. They're downshifted. This turned out a lot better than I thought it would. Once I actually got some functioning propane components on it. Whoa, whoa, there you go. Come on. Squirrely son of a... Well, folks, thanks for accompanying me on this seemingly pointless journey. I'll be taking the propane stuff back off. This was just more about my curiosity of how well it would work, and the results were rather surprising to me. I guess if I did accomplish I figured out these particular propane components do work, so I know that when the day comes I ever need to use them on something else, but we'll see you later.